Random series time. Random series time. It's Randumb Tuesday, y'all. Where you at? I'm way too happy after being put through it in class. I'm gonna give y'all a minute to get in here. My beanie is back. This beanie is a security blanket when I don't feel like doing my hair. So I wear it to the gym. It's loud. Well, I was trying to give some people a chance to get on here, but I might as well just go ahead and get started. So, this Randumb Tuesday is all about Trademark, right? I'm going to post a link to my my free IP checklist. It kind of talks a little bit more in depth about Trademark, but this is just going to cover some like surface stuff. So, trademark basics. What is a trademark? To simplify it, the trademark is basically the brand or the face of your product or your service, right? But there are some things I think like misconceptions when it comes to trademark that a lot of people get confused. Like they feel like if you come up with some kind of logo, a slogan, a mark, that automatically they have protection in it. And one of the requirements before you can actually file for a trademark application is you actually have to use it. So one of the things I always tell clients is to do a basic trademark search just to see, you know, if your mark is being used, because you would hate to put a ton of marketing dollars into a trademark that you can't use or that somebody else is using, or that doesn't meet trademark requirements. But I'll get a little more into that in maybe my other posts. And again, I'll post a link to the IP checklist because it's like sometimes you forget some things, so you can refer back to that. But again, a trademark is like the face of your brand. So it's for either your product or service. So they use the words trademark and service mark interchangeably, but they're basically the same thing. So again, the purpose of a trademark is to allow consumers to be able to distinguish between the products and services that they're looking for. So they're looking for a specific name. They know what they're going to get when they look for that name. So that is the point of a trademark. If you're not actually out there branding and using it in the public, then what is the point of it? So again, that's some of the things that people tend to get confused. They feel like if they come up with a mark, they automatically own it. And so one of the best examples I can use is the young lady who coined the on fleek phrase, which is like a slogan, or she turned it into a hashtag, I believe. So the young lady did a Snapchat video. She had just gotten her brows done, and baby girl said brows on fleek. Had no idea that that phrase would take off like it did. Oh, the fight is in the way. But it did take off, and so before you knew it, tons of people were using this. It was in songs, it was in all kinds of stuff, but people couldn't understand why she didn't make any money as it relates to that particular trademark, or the slogan, if you will. And the problem is, it had to be tied to some type of product or service before you can just automatically get protection in it. So in her case, it probably would have been some type of cosmetics had she chose to do that. Within, I'd say, weeks of that slogan going viral, it ended up being listed on tons of trademark applications, including for cosmetics, clothing.
I'm sorry to bother you. I actually brought these up some tea. I have to take them back out.
Go right ahead. Oops, y'all, I'm taking stuff I wasn't supposed to take. I'm
You're
sorry.
fine.
Anywho, as I was saying, so again, she was not able to make any money from her own mark. So it's one of those things where you have to actually tie it to something. It can't just be out there. So again, when you're going into wanting to understand how do you trademark something, again, you need to do a basic trademark search. Check Google. You can even go on the USPTO website, and it's not as complicated as people might think it is, but you can actually go on there and just check to see what is out there in terms of your particular trademark that you're thinking about using for your product or your service. And then after that, again, you want to go out there and actually start using it, tied to the product or the service that you want protection in. So another thing is, once you've established that trademark, you're only going to get protection in the area that you've established it at until you've built up enough within your particular trademark. So for instance, Starbucks does coffee, right? But Starbucks has become so famous, so big, that they can essentially block other people from using marks that are similar to theirs, even if it doesn't have anything to do with Starbucks. So there was a lady, she wanted to do a dog hotel, and it was called Starbucks. But the Starbucks people weren't happy about that because they felt that it would dilute the strength of their trademark in Starbucks, even though they have no intentions of ever doing dog hotels. So that's just something to keep in mind. You're only going to get protection in the area in which you've established actual use. So for instance, a lot of my clients do entertainment, they're artists, or they're involved in some kind of merchandising or things like that. So usually they get protection in those areas, and those areas are usually called an international class. So again, you want to go back to my IP checklist a little bit more in depth on what that is. But basically, so IC 41 covers things in entertainment, consulting, music, things of that nature. So generally anyone in that area will go there. If you do clothing, it's going to be IC 25. So each area of protection that you want to be covered in is a fee. So as of right now, the standard fee is $400 for each area of protection that you want. And again, you have to establish use first. So, you know, just some things to keep in mind. I know I have a lot of friends, family that are they have their own businesses, and sometimes I'm sure you have questions, but you just don't know what to ask. So I thought I would put that out there for anybody that was curious about trademark. The other thing that I find interesting about trademark is that if you have I guess for instance, I'll use the example of a restaurant. You have no intentions of ever expanding that restaurant outside of your geographical area. It would probably be better and more cost effective to just get a state-based trademark, so they have that as well. Again, it's the same principle where you have to establish use. But if you have no intentions of ever expanding outside of where you are, then you can get a cheaper state-based trademark and it'll just cover you within that state. Or you can go the federal route and be covered all over the United States. I don't see anybody getting on today. Where are y'all? Y'all probably all got cabin fever or going out and about after the storm. I hope all of you are safe and you got power and that everybody's good. It's day 3 of the kids being out of school, and Darren's going a little stir crazy. But I got out and came to the gym as my usual Tuesday goes. So on the next series, I'll go a little bit in depth about trademark again, just kind of reiterating what I've discussed here today. And if you guys have questions, just post them in the comments below and I'll check them out later on this evening. But other than that, this is Randumb Tuesday and Beanie Chronicles. The beanie is back because this weather is not loyal to hair. So I will see you guys later.